The anticipation surrounding Apple's next-generation M5 MacBook Pro has reached a fever pitch, with leaks, insider whispers, and early reports painting a picture of what could be Apple's most powerful and efficient laptop ever, a device that could redefine the professional computing landscape once again, or perhaps mark the first real slowdown in Apple Silicon's once unstoppable momentum. For months, tech insiders and supply chain sources from Taiwan to California have been buzzing about Apple's M5 chip. And now, in October 2025, the puzzle pieces are starting to fit together. The MacBook Pro line, long considered the gold standard for creative professionals, coders, and power users, might soon take another evolutionary leap, one that brings serious upgrades in raw performance, efficiency, AI acceleration, and even configurability. But is this next move truly revolutionary, or just Apple's strategic way of stretching its Silicon roadmap until the rumored OLED and touchscreen models arrive in 2026? Let's dive deep into everything we know, and what's still speculation, about the M5 MacBook Pro, the next step in Apple's relentless march toward computing perfection. According to reports first spotted in early October, Apple quietly registered a new MacBook model with the FCC under the code A3434, a mysterious entry that many analysts believe corresponds to the upcoming M5-powered MacBook Pro. Interestingly, these filings appeared just as Apple Store's shipping dates for custom M4 MacBook Pros began slipping, a classic sign that the company is preparing to clear inventory ahead of a refresh. TechRadar, MacRumors, and 9to5Mac have all hinted at the same timeline, a potential announcement or soft launch in late October 2025, followed by full availability either by December or early 2026. But the real story isn't just about timing, it's about what's under the hood. The M5 chip is rumored to bring a performance jump that could make even the mighty M4 Macs look modest. Based on reports from Notebook Check and Apple Insider, the M5 architecture leverages TSMC's enhanced 2nm process, offering greater transistor density, improved thermals, and up to 36% GPU performance gains compared to the M4 generation. Apple's custom neural engine is also getting a huge upgrade, aimed squarely at on-device AI tasks. Think faster background rendering, instant image manipulation, and new creative tools that respond to voice and gesture input in real time. In short, this isn't just a processor upgrade. It's Apple's way of quietly laying the foundation for a new class of AI-driven Mac experiences that don't rely on the cloud. That said, the M5 Pro and M5 Max variants are reportedly where things get really interesting. Several sources claim Apple is adopting a modular approach, internally codenamed SoIC-MH, allowing it to mix and match CPU and GPU clusters to better fit different user needs. That means instead of being locked into fixed configurations, higher-end M5 models could theoretically scale more flexibly between performance and efficiency cores. It's a huge deal for professionals who want maximum GPU throughput without sacrificing battery life. In terms of design, though, don't expect dramatic changes just yet. The chassis for both the 14-inch and 16-inch M5 MacBook Pros will likely remain identical to the current M4 series, keeping the same aluminum enclosure, Liquid Retina XDR mini LED display, and Magic Keyboard layout. But under the surface, we could see subtle refinements, better speakers, upgraded microphones, and perhaps slightly slimmer bezels. One of the more persistent leaks also points to a redesigned cooling system, reportedly lighter yet more effective, to handle the thermal demands of the M5 Max. But here's the twist. Despite all this hardware progress, the long-awaited switch to OLED displays probably won't happen until 2026. Multiple sources, including Tom's Guide and the ELEC report that Samsung and LG Display are still finalizing the first batches of OLED MacBook panels, meaning the M5 generation will likely stick to mini LED for one more cycle. That could disappoint users hoping for richer contrast and better HDR, but for Apple, it's a calculated move. Save the flashy display upgrade for the M6 era and keep the M5 focused on raw silicon performance. Speaking of performance, leaked benchmarks allegedly from early M5 prototype units have shown up in database listings, hinting at multi-core scores nearly 25% higher than M4. While authenticity is impossible to confirm, this aligns with Apple's typical year-over-year improvement targets. But it's not just about speed. Apple's engineers are said to have focused on power efficiency, with the M5 delivering the same or better performance at lower wattage. This means less fan noise, longer battery life, and cooler operation. things that matter just as much to professionals editing 8K footage on the go as they do to students coding in cafes. Another intriguing rumor suggests that Apple is considering adding optional 5G or Wi-Fi 7 connectivity to the MacBook Pro for the first time. While Apple hasn't confirmed this and the FCC listings don't show antenna configurations yet, such a feature would make sense as the company continues to blur the line between Mac and iPad ecosystems. Imagine tether-free cloud syncing, remote Final Cut rendering, or AR content streaming directly from the MacBook itself, all without a hotspot. On the AI front, insiders also claim macOS Sequoia 15.1, expected alongside the M5 launch, will bring private cloud compute enhancements, enabling AI-assisted features like text generation, image upscaling, and natural language code suggestions directly on the M5 chip. Essentially, Apple wants your next MacBook to think faster, create faster, and learn from how you work. Combine that with the rumored tighter integration between macOS and iPhone's generative AI capabilities, and you can see where this is headed. An Apple ecosystem that feels personalized, predictive, and seamless. But what about pricing? Here's where speculation turns controversial. Some reports claim Apple will slightly raise base prices, especially for the M5 Pro models, citing increased production costs at TSMC's 2nm node. That could push the 14-inch MacBook Pro base model close to $2,099, with the 16-inch touching $2,799 for M5 Max variants. Others argue Apple may absorb some of the cost increases to keep adoption high during what's expected to be a slow PC market recovery. Still, one thing's certain. The M5 MacBook Pro won't be cheap, and Apple knows its loyal creative base is willing to pay a premium for cutting-edge performance and reliability. Beyond the numbers, the biggest story might be philosophical. With M5, Apple appears to be embracing a slower, more strategic cadence. Instead of chasing flashy design overhauls, it's doubling down on refinement, efficiency, and AI integration, signaling that the Apple Silicon revolution is maturing. This mirrors what we saw with the iPhone lineup, where innovation gradually shifted from visible hardware to invisible intelligence. Whether that excites or bores fans depends on what you expect from a MacBook in 2025. If you're waiting for foldable screens or touch-enabled Mac OS, you'll likely have to wait another year. But if you're after an impeccably tuned professional machine that pushes performance per watt to new heights, the M5 MacBook Pro might just be your dream device. Now let's talk about what this means for the future of Apple Silicon. Analysts believe the M5 marks the final generation before Apple transitions to a unified A-series plus M-series architecture, effectively merging mobile and desktop chip design under one scalable platform. That's not just marketing talk. It means features like unified memory and neural cores will behave identically across iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Imagine developing an app once and having it run natively, optimally, and securely on every Apple device. That's the endgame. So yes, while the M5 MacBook Pro might not look drastically different, its implications reach far beyond what's on your desk. It's a glimpse at Apple's next decade of computing. As for launch timing, signs increasingly point to a late October announcement, possibly via press release rather than full event, with immediate pre-orders for the base M5 model and staggered rollout for the Pro and Max variants into early 2026. Apple has pulled similar moves before, prioritizing faster mass production readiness for base chips while giving higher-end variants extra testing time. And if you've noticed Apple Store inventory thinning or refurbished M4s suddenly appearing on clearance, that's no coincidence. It's the calm before the silicon storm. So as we await the official unveiling, one thing's clear. The M5 MacBook Pro is shaping up to be another benchmark in Apple's ongoing story of performance, precision, and purpose. Whether it's a quiet revolution or a cautious refinement, it's bound to turn heads, and once again remind the tech world why Apple plays the long game better than anyone. Because in the end, while competitors race to chase specs, Apple builds ecosystems, and the M5 might just be the smartest, fastest piece of that puzzle yet.